Morning people, just still setting the tripod, okay, and I've accidentally pressed the record button, but it doesn't matter now. Anyway, today's video is going to be a quick demonstration of the Micro ITX PC what I built. I initially had this, which I kind of abandoned it now for now, but I will be reusing this case because I absolutely love it. So I will be reusing that case. There's absolutely no ifs and buts about that. Okay. Then from out of that case it went into this. Okay. Now, very small case. Look, that's the size of it, so you get an idea. It's got a built-in 160 watt power supply. So I took it out of that purely because of the fact that I was suspecting when I'm connecting one to many USB plugs, sometimes I'm getting sort of the drives are not detecting and things like that. So it could be that I'm pushing the power supply. It could be. So I took it off and rebuilt it. Let's and also I did replace the cooler, CPU cooler, which was this for the 1151 socket. It's the Intel i7-8700K. You're probably going to say, oh bloody hell, why would you want to... This is a pretty good cooler actually for its purpose, and it did sort of do okay but not so well. The only reason why I chose this is because these are low profile cases. You've got to be very careful that you don't want anything too high and above, because you just won't be able to close the lid. So that's one of the reasons why. But saying that, the main reason why I replaced this is because as I'm rendering stuffs, the temperature's hitting in excess of 70, 80, near enough 80 degrees Celsius, so I wasn't very happy about that. Therefore, I decided to sort of replace it with the cooler, which is this one. I didn't go for the other version, which is slightly sort of only about £15 more. I prefer something like a nice sleek look, so I got this. And obviously the rest of the stuff, rest of the spec of the PC is, let me just sort of get into the system. I've got one of the Samsung Pro Series M2 drive, but let me just sort of go onto the control panel so I can quickly run through what's happening here basically. Yeah, right, okay, so as I said on the previous video, it's the AMD's W4100 card I'm using. It's one of the small card for workstation. The hard drive is in Samsung 970 Pro on the M2 version, and 1 terabyte, and then obviously there's a 16 gig of crucial ballistic tracer, or the RGB ones basically. And that's it. So let's jump into some of the pictures what I've took during the build, and then we'll jump into the recording what I did after the video, after the build basically. So yeah, I'll let you watch the rest of the video. Right people, welcome back to the channel again. Wow, what a little monstrous task it was actually to try and sort of finish this build. I've always wanted a Micro ITX with RGB, and it never came around. I could not find the right case. I've had cases such as these basically, but these are not Micro ITX. Let me sort of show you the one I'm on about. This was the smallest one I had. There you go. The comparison, and this is not it is a Micro ITX, but it's not an RGB type of thing where you can see. You've got a window on the side and you can see a lot of stuff. So this was the smallest that I had. Let me sort of grab this USB thingy. Okay, so the situation what we have here is that now it's all complete. The stuff that I've used to sort of rebuild, I'll go through that very shortly. Let's have a closer look at it and see what's been done to it basically. So let me just get this tripod a bit closer and I'll talk you through what's been done. There's a zoom function. Okay, so here at the bottom I'm using the up here fans, RGB fans. They came in a pack of 5. I've used 3 with the controller, and it comes with a little remote control as well, which is this. The radiator is the Asus Rog Z370-I with the round display, which you'll probably just about see, because unfortunately the power supply is actually sort of there you go, it's there, so you can see almost half of the display, which is no big deal. At least it's not fully covered by the SFX power supply. Okay, so that's that. Let's sort of okay, so beside that, I'm using a AMD W4100 graphic card, which can support up to 4 monitors. These don't need additional power feed basically, but although that this has a 6-pin power connector, there's no need for me to use that. Then the Intel i7-8700K processor, 16GB of crucial DDR4. This is a 360 watt power supply. Made by BEQUITE. I've used some logos or stickers actually that came with the the Asus motherboard, and I've put a few around the casing just to sort of make it a bit nicer. The motherboard is the let me just see, it's the Asus Rog Z370-I, which is a mini ITX gaming motherboard, and I've used a Western Digital 500GB Black Edition drive for me storage purposes, which is here. Now usually this plate is situated here, and there's no chance of you fitting a 240mm, absolutely no chance of you doing that, but I've had to sort of work around that problem and sort of get me thinking cap on and get this sorted. So what I've done is I've actually relocated this bracket, which was originally factory fitted here, onto the back of that empty space, and attach this drive. I've drilled 2 holes, a very fine hole, to try and sort of make sure that they're mounted with at least a bit of support. I've also put double-sided number plate tape on the bottom of the plating basically, just so that it holds it in place, and then I put a bit of a rubber support around here just in case that the adhesive comes off. It's not touching the motherboard, it's keeping this part of it pressed down. There are 2 holes here, but it was too close to the board for me to sort of drill hole, so I've managed to drill hole on that side, and I've got one little fan up here, which is a tiny one. This was yellow. I had to spray it in black. So that it's a bit disguised and you can't see it. In terms of the cable management side of it, has been done quite to the best of my ability. I mean, let me see if I can sort of show you, if you can get a closer sort of a look and see if you can sort of see. I mean, the only bit of cable that you can see is right at the top here, and a little bit here, and these are the hose pipe for the These are the hose pipe for the cooler, basically. Now, what else there to talk about? Let's have a look at the. So there you go. Okay, and I've also used a strip of RGB. Some of them. Okay. Oh, you can't see that. I've used this as well. They're about £15. Now I understand that you probably think I'm a cheap gear. I'm not. I spend a lot of money on stuff, but I could not sort of justify spending 50 quid on a set of strip lights just to sort of customise the effect. Basically, I just couldn't do it. So the case is obviously the ENERMAX Steelwing, which is the red edition. I've got a green one as well, which is I'm going to return it actually. And thanks for those few people who have actually supported me on the last video and just giving me advice as to which cooler, which case to go for. The panel has been now put back on because I took it off. I don't want to scuff it. It's an anodized aluminium, full aluminium case. The RGB strip one has gone across here to the right away to the bottom, and the second strip that came with it has actually gone at the back of that along to the bottom and then up. Okay, so that's that, and just trying to think if I'm missing anything out really. Just sort of put this here, it's tripod, so it's a little bit better view. That's better. Okay, so right, the moment of truth now is let's fire up this beast, and I'm going to turn some lights off. Okay, just so that we get the maximum effect. Okay, let's sort of. Yep, I'm going to turn. Yep, the studio. Right, I've got a little studio light. We'll see what happens when I turn that off. I hope the camcorder LED doesn't turn on. No, it's not. Okay, so let's fire up this beast. Is it turned on? No. Okay, and see what happens. 1, 2, 3. And here we are. Absolutely crazy. Little micro ITX case. Might put a bit of light on. Yep. And the effect is on the bottom. You get in a bit of an effect. Okay, and then it's coming down through the front. It's just pity that I don't like seeing the bulbs, you know, like this. I'd rather just have it disguised and have a bit of a glare, but then again it'll be situated sideways like that on my bench. So yes, I'll be sort of enjoying that basically. And that's the other side, which is not much to see. The front, it's a pretty nice effect because I've got rid of the standard. I got rid of the standard the 1200mm red fan that came with the case. I'm not utilising that. Put that somewhere here. There's no use for that. I won't be using that actually, so that's been taken out. Nice fan, don't get me wrong, nice and quiet fan, but I'm not using that. So I think it's been quite a very decent achievement once it's been all sort of put in its place. One of this fundamental reason why I actually changed the cooler, because I do quite little bit of rendering, not quite a bit, sorry, I take my word back, a little bit of rendering, and I've been using this cooler for to keep the temperature on the maintain the temperature on the Intel i7 8700K, but unfortunately it was hitting over like 70 odd degrees Celsius, 78 something like that, and I just thought it's ridiculous. So for that reason, that was one of the main driving force why I ended up with having this entire setup. It's costly, but what do you do? It's just one of those things. Hobbies aren't cheap. Any type of hobby isn't cheap. You know, if you're talking, you know, serious level of, you know, any type of hobbies. But what I mean by that is, it's just, you know what I'm on about. Hobbies? Whether you're biking, you want a decent bike, it's expensive. You've got a hobby of PC, you want a decent PC, it's expensive. Whether you've got a hobby of going holidays, it's expensive. So you get the message. But anyway, coming back onto this now, on the back. Obviously, you got the power supply, the graphic card output for monitor, which is pretty smart. These little tiny workstation video cards. I've got on temp to fit, which I'll probably do that now while you're on the video. How long has it taken me to do this? Started probably about a day. That's about 8 to 10 hours, something like that, from start till finish, completing everything. Yeah, roughly about that. That's for the wireless antenna basically. So that sits on top of that. The other thing was I wasn't going to put that fan on, but I had to because the temperature was building up quite high on the around this area. So what it's doing is it's blowing down, but it's nothing to take it out. So the air has been trapped. So what I've got to do is I didn't want to put it. I don't want to put these facing downwards because it just looks a bit awkward. So left it like this. We're going to try it out, see how we go on. There's enough ventilation for the air to sort of pop out, and then it'll be going out through this fan. And there's already a fan here as well, blowing cold, you know, the heat away from it. But we'll see. We'll see how this goes. But as far as this is concerned, let's put the panel back on. So just bear with me. Let's sort of. could do with giving this panel a little buff, so just bear with me. I hope I don't drop it and break it. Just going to give this panel a little bit of a buff because it looks a bit of a mess. Okay, let me just make sure that there's no smear on the glass, because I think I'm not going to open this. This is it basically. I will not be opening this now. So after it's gone in there, that's the end of it basically. Okay, so I'm quite happy with that. Let's put this panel back in, and oh, just one other thing, yeah, about this CPU cooler. You've got the mini display. I don't know if you can see it there. There you go. A lot better. There you go. You can see it. I've set it to a. It'll roll automatic. It should automatically rotate between CPU temperature and various other things. Where is it? Have I gone off? Yep, I have. I did. So it'll be flicking through various you know, temperatures and things like that. The important thing is that there is a firmware upgrade for this little thing, the cooler, so you must do that because of an OLED display that can suffer from screen burn. It's recommended to upgrade the firmware basically, so I did upgrade the firmware on it. So if you just, sorry, just trying to put the panel back, and it's not the good way. I should put this on a thingy board sideways, but wasn't too keen on doing that for now at least. It's just it's a habit of rushing on the last minute. Once I've worked my nuts off trying to sort this out, and in the last bit I'm just being a bit of a jerk, but that's just tiredness, that. See what's got, right, okay, I know what's happening here. It's dropped. Okay guys, that's it. Just firm tight. Don't over tighten, it'll bloody destroy it. So and a final buff. Here we are. It's done and dusted. There's a sticker that's I put on from the motherboard again that came with this. I was hoping to put an aluminium plate at the back of that hard drive enclosure, just so that at the back of inside there, behind that, just to sort of disguise that hard drive, but I might put a sticker or something in there just to sort of disguise it. But in terms of the RGB effect with the case on, there we go. Let me turn it a bit sideways. There we go. A bit more. If you can get the fan as well. And a bit more. There you go. So I think it's been quite a success building this, and I'm really chuffed. And this will be my my main workstation in terms of doing all the work that I do on a daily basis. Really chuffed. Very happy with these fans. The Corsair fans will be returned, and the Corsair RGB strip will be returned also. As I said in my last video, the fans are about £37 for a pack of 5, so I've got 2 spare ones in case these starts packing up. And I've also got the strips were 14, I think it was £14 off eBay, but made by Wow LED. So I hope they last too. But I mean, versus 40, 50, 60 quid for a set of strips, bearing in mind that they only come in a 2 strip. Corsair has a 4 strip, but even then, I mean, the cost is just quite substantial. So but yeah, that's all. And I could not get rid of these two because I'll be putting a lot of stress on the hose pipe for the cooler away from it, because I'll be putting a lot of stress, and I don't want to do that. The USB Type 3.0 for the front I could not sort of move them because again they had a lot of stress. I may play around with it and see if I can sort of reroute this, but I doubt it very much that that'd be possible. So it's not a big concern. I mean, you know, most of the wirings are situated on the top, top there. So and with the glass being a bit dark, you can't see it unless you're right close to it. So the moment of truth is going to be when I've run this, done a bit of a stress testing and see how hot it gets. Yes, the air is blowing out from the top. Yep, I can feel. Of course, I can feel it, which is a lot better than absolutely nothing. So that's that. A lot of thought has gone through this basically, and you know, I'm glad that it's done and dusted now, so I can focus on something else. But anyway, all the best, guys. That's all, and have a great day. And thanks for your feedback on the previous video in terms of choosing which case to go for. But anyway, stay well, be safe, and all the best. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye for now.